Hi guys, happy Venus Cazimi. So I'm going to go over the Cazimi and what energy it's bringing for us in this very important area of life. This Aries part of our life is the new era. It is the new chapter. It's how we can step into more self-empowerment and self-love. And the Cazimi is a light bulb moment. It's really showing us what we really value and how we can evolve in our love and money and our relationships and how we can be more in alignment with manifesting the life that we really want. And this one's really powerful because it's also sextiling Pluto, which can bring powerful, deeply powerful relationships that, bring that deep fulfillment and evolution. Or it can align you with a path when it comes to money that does make you a lot of money. It makes you really powerful, and it's actually like more of what you really authentically want to do. Either way, this is just making you a very empowered manifester as an individual. So it's really important to pay attention. On the day this happens, this is happening on the 22nd. So you get that kind of insight into what to put more of your time and energy and focus on. So, okay, a Cazimi is when Venus is going into the heart of the sun. And she's being rebirth. She's being purified. It's kind of like a grand reveal. It's kind of like, something being pulled back and you just see something, and it's a lot clearer and it's a realization, with wherever this is in your chart. And I'm going to go through all the signs. And because during the retrograde, it's like going back and revising, revisiting, but this is like a aha moment. And it's kind of giving us a nice reset in this area of life so we can bring more of whatever abundance we desire. And this is going to be very important because this is helping us realize that massive new beginning in this big new chapter that we want to bring into our lives. We're going to discover what we're passionate about, what we want to chase, what's really igniting us, what's fulfilling more of this deeper desire. Because Aries, Venus in Aries, it can be a little impulsive. So it is really important to realize we do need to recognize what's going to bring us more abundance that is out of more self-love instead of, any flings or, wasting our creative energy in any other way towards like substances or just like grabbing the, nearest thing to kind of satisfy that urge. This is kind of where we can go like deeper within and maybe even look internally and to see like, but what is it that would actually make us feel, way more powerful and way more, willing to step into that adventure in life? Because this is all about embodiment, where we've had to release so much, and we're going to be releasing a lot when it comes to relationships and money and what we value when Venus goes into Pisces and ending big karmic cycles of just like subconscious behaviors that maybe we weren't even aware of. So we can fully step into this embodiment and, our ability to manifest and create the lives that we really want. Out in the world, out in real life. No more like spiritual habitat time. No more, we're getting really we're being assertive. Where we might, if you weren't really a assertive person before with all this Aries energy coming in, there's going to be a way that you're going to be a little bit more confident and assertive when it comes to your boundaries and when it comes to standing up for yourselves in relationships. Like, maybe you're in a relationship and there's somebody in their family that was just fine with like walking all over you all the time. And now it's like, no, like you can speak up now. And you're going to feel that urge to like, speak up and defend yourself a little bit more. And, you can still do that in, a very balanced way and everything, but you're gonna want to assert yourself even more in your relationships and when it comes to money and when it comes to what you value and value, finding that more of that value in yourself too. So, um, and yeah, this can bring new beginnings in love, new beginnings in maybe you could even get married, during this time. It can bring a very, like if you have Aries placements, especially at the early degrees, because there's so many, shifts coming. Something very significant could be happening in your life. You could be getting married, you could be getting engaged, you could be reconnecting with an ex, meeting somebody very significant. And you can also release people that just aren't, vibing with you anymore. After this reflection, it's like, okay, well, like this is kind of the new direction that I'm heading. So I need to figure out what relationships are really supportive to my growth and my happiness now. And feel free to, have that self assertion. But there can also be major like style overhauls and kind of discovering how you can step into more of your embodiment and, feel a little fierce, maybe even. How can you feel a little bit more confident? How can you feel a little bit more bold and, hot and everything? And, have also, I love this for creative breakthroughs. You can have major creative breakthroughs and just like insights with how to, run your business better or just like, get things to move a little bit faster. And yeah, we'll see where it's happening in your chart. And I'll pull some cards for you too. But yeah, it's all about finding that spark. It's finding that spark of your own personal desires. Aries is all about like blinders on. You got to ask yourself. You're not asking the other person. You're really figuring out what you really want in whatever area of life this is happening for you. That leads to more self-love and self-acceptance. And it is just becoming aware right now. I would say don't make any like giant changes until the retrogrades are finished up and the eclipse happens and all of that. Then this is just like enlightenment for, you, kind of a self-discovery of your own heart and what's in your own heart. So you can release some of where you've been at war with yourself, because this can be moody too. The ruler, the ruler of, all this energy is Mars, and Mars is still in Cancer. Like Jesus Christ, it's been there forever. So there has been a lot of moody shifts and like paying attention to our emotions and what we need for safety and security and what we need for nurturing. So we can listen to those like more like, sensitive emotions and not ignore them anymore. It's time to bring that up and really heal that. And this could bring up a lot of past issues when it comes to, relationships from the past, when it comes to home and family, and realizing how, those relationships affected us for the good and then also for the bad. But more awareness overall is going to make you more powerful when it comes to relationships. And it's going to make you realize where you need to stand up for yourself and where you can have more of that personal life that does give you more grounding when it comes to those close personal relationships and yeah, just relationships and even in your home, like in what gives you that safety nest. Um, and yeah, Venus and Pluto, it's like love of power and money and really discovering like maybe something that you truly value that you can put that intense energy and focus on. And it could be like and Pluto's all about that deeper soulful like urge and desire to kind of go after. And it is all about human experiences with it in Aquarius too, or technology, I guess, or towards like the new, but it's kind of bringing some sort of like deeper evolution. And but it could be very, very powerful. Discovering how you can own your own personal power with, the new times coming up. This is us really just integrating like, and getting, adjusted to the new frequencies and like elevating a little bit more. So I really like it. It's, it's a kickstart into the new era for sure. And this will probably be affecting Taurus and Libra the most, in a good way, because Venus is always brings the good things. Well, for the most part, unless you're going after, you know, not good things. But Taurus and Libra, because Venus is your ruler, so you're gonna, have a big refresh and everything, a renewal in love and yourself and relationships and money, and becoming more of a authentic version of yourself. And also Leos, you can find like kind of that light bulb moment of even more so with yourself and with what you love and how you can communicate better in relationships and how overall we can all, be more authentic. Okay, so let's see. For Aries, and I'm going to pull some cards too to see maybe what's going on in your relationships. But for Aries, this is happening in your first house. So this is all about yourself and your identity, and your first house affects everything. It affects your significant relationships and your home and, your career. And you're really stepping into that bolder, more confident, more powerful version of yourself. Like the Emperor came out, of course. You are stepping into the leader of your life and you're getting fired up with that truest, most authentic version of yourself and seeing, maybe what needs to come out more so from the inside. What makes you magnetic? How can you feel more attractive? How can you, go through any adjustments? Maybe you need to release old clothes and maybe you need to, find more balance in your relationships or if you've been too domineering in your relationships, maybe this is where you can have the discussions and see how things can be, balanced out overall. It's just about finding, balance. But this can bring just insights to where your blind spots were when it comes to relationships. And so you can be clearer with what you want moving forward. But this is all about like, how can you be bolder? How can you be hotter? How can you make those healthy choices at the same time? Because you're stepping into that highest version of yourself. It's all about I am. And so you can embody that highest version of yourself and go after your highest potential. So it's making more decisions out of self-love and what's aligned for you now. Because you're going to be like a master manifester with Neptune going into your first house. You're going to be like on fire. And you want to know, this is going to just give you overall insight about what you love in general. So you can make the dream come true. You have to know that you can make your dreams come true, your manifestations come true a lot easier in this upcoming era. But you have to know what you're done with. It is a big part of like the Cazimi, it's releasing what you don't want anymore. And yeah, you might want more, depth and you want more just like depth and obsession like came out. That's so funny. So you might be dealing with a relationship that might have a lot of depth and obsession overall. And that makes sense, because Neptune, be aware, it can, you can have a little bit of rose-colored glasses, or maybe this is somebody towards you. And then with the sextile to Pluto, this is like really getting empowered when it comes to social media, groups, networks. You can be very influential overall. So know what group that you're really fitting in. And maybe you do need to recognize more of that depth within yourself to bring it out from your core and, embody it. But this is main character energy. You are stepping into that main character vibe. So you can have more confidence, more magnetism, bold, beautiful energy, and embrace your individuality, speak your truth, and yeah, just recognize who you are authentically. be more courageous, be more bold. Like you kind of need to show us the way, like to just be yourself unapologetically and, get out of this hermit mode Pisces that's been kind of, been going on. And if there's been passion projects that you've been working on behind the scenes, maybe it's time to like kind of bring them out into the world and let the world see it a little bit more. You can be very powerful with sharing it on social media. And yeah, the magician came out. So this is majorly you are turning into the manifester of your life, but you're doing it from a place of making healthy choices. I will say, don't be too bold or stubborn when it comes to certain relationships or money making decisions. There are other possibilities that might come to light, so you can have more balance overall. But yeah, either way, this is, kind of a balancing out and you stepping into that emperor manifester mode to create your reality in the best way that seems fit for you. And if you are obsessed about something, um, like a passion project or hope or dream or vision that you have, this is definitely time to really get in touch with that and be aware of that and put some importance to that, because that is a deeper soulful calling that can lead to a lot of career gains and a lot of success potentially. So do that, self-discovery and everything. Write any insights that you get down during this time. And yeah. All right. Thank you, Aries. Hi, Taurus. So let's see what's going on for you for this Venus Cazimi. This is happening in your 12th house. So this is behind the scenes. You might want to be a little bit more hermit mode and really getting into your passion projects and spirituality and, deep diving, within so you can figure out more of what you really want, especially when it comes to connecting to your higher self. But the 12th house is all about maybe coming to some sort of awareness with ways that you self-sabotaged in the past. And we're constantly evolving through this 12th house area where we can recognize just the slight ways where we were maybe unaware, where we can have just that major breakthrough and, step into more of our power, ultimately, and more of that highest version of ourself. And um, it might have to do with where you weren't committed to yourself or where there were previous relationships that you were committed to that you need to release commitments to. This can be pretty big because with the sextile to Pluto in the 10th, that's all about your career, your legacy, and, finding your the most powerful, authentic direction when it comes to that, and who you want to be out in the world. Um, and what your soul truly deeply desires with that. And authenticity is key, just being that your most authentic self and most aligned with your purpose in this life is just literally going to be the most powerful thing. And your purpose, mostly, we all find our purpose actually by healing ourselves and getting rid of like what's not us. And so we can, kind of easily like glide into whatever's actually meant for us. But yeah, you're also going to be becoming sorry, very psychic with Neptune moving into this area too. So you could be having very vivid dreams and revelations and just maybe what you didn't see in relationships or the ways that you manifested your life previously that you just didn't see like clearly. So now if you see a little bit clearer now with what you didn't see, um you know how to like move forward in a much bolder way. um and this is all aligning you with your most powerful version of yourself that you can step into out in the world. So there can be a big closure of the past and past cycles, past loops, past patterns when it comes to love, money, and what you truly value, and letting go of what's not you anymore so you can be, very powerful and bold. And, this can be a mini spiritual awakening for sure. The Tower card came out. It's like kind of awakening you to something that you maybe thought you loved in the past, but you're not really connecting with that anymore. But be open to that higher inspiration and that higher wisdom that can kind of, come through. And it could be for the collective, because Pluto, like in the 10th, it is more so for the collective. Like you're most powerful if your, deeper soulful desires are in alignment with helping the collective. And yeah, you can just really get deeply aligned with that. So definitely go hermit mode for a little bit, like, have those insights and elevations, and there might be, the golden mirror came out. Self-absorbed, narcissist, one-sided relationship, love bombing, maybe recognizing any relationships where that happened. And the butterfly relationship is evolving to the next phase, healing the inner child and growth. So see where potential growth can happen with where you had a blind spot with a certain relationship that's in your life or just from the past. But yeah, someone might be thinking, missing you, craving, desiring. But yeah, the Nine of Cups came out reversed. So it's kind of like in the Hierophant in the tires, uh, in the tower. So yeah, it's kind of like recognizing where you were maybe overly committed in the past, where it was self-sabotaging. And instead, I think, especially if you are a divine feminine, you should put yourself first a little bit more. You do need to put your boundaries first, and you do need to put your desires first. And you can't lead to, oh, I didn't even notice exhaustion came out. Yeah, where you did overly exhaust yourself from giving so much, because feminine energy just naturally gives and is compassionate and puts the other people first. But right now, like with that divine feminine energy, we need to recognize our boundaries in our heart and where we're dedicating our time and our energy so we can let the right committed relationships come in for us that are very supportive and very grounding and do, recognize our emotions. And yeah. So yeah, it's clearing up some heart fog, mixed signals, blocked up emotions, messed up. It's clearing out where we had heart fog before so we can have some sort of clarity, so we can have stronger relationships moving forward, stronger relationships that are just very, very fulfilling and very freeing for us, and that awaken us to, that higher potential with ourselves and with them. All right. Thank you, Taurus. Hi, Gemini. So this is a fun one for you. This is bringing you a lot of insight and information when it comes to your friends and your networks and your hopes and dreams and your visions for the future. And yeah, this could also be career gains. There could be sudden career gains coming in, something that you were committed to for a while. You could be finally seeing some of the results, or, even a fiery new path that you can extend to. It's important to like be focused on the friendships and the people that are really like vibing with you, very that are, you know, just on your same frequency, literally, that maybe even have the same powerful beliefs. Like with Pluto in the ninth, it's going to be very powerful to align with people that have empowering beliefs that help elevate you and help elevate the collective, and that, yeah, are kind of freeing in some way, that celebrate uniqueness and authenticity and boldness and your individuality. um, and yeah, this can bring, even, yeah, a significant contract your way if it's, um, yeah, for career, or, a successful way forward if you have any legal stuff going on. Um, and maybe even a relationship. So if you're out with your friends, um, you know, out and about with your friends, this is a very powerful time where you could actually meet somebody new that could be very significant, a new romance, or if you're doing, if you're traveling abroad or something, or going after some sort of spiritual passion or pursuit, or some form of higher knowledge, then that's a very powerful path for you. But yeah, you're kind of realizing maybe where you were overly loyal. Loyalty came out, trusting, reliability, believing. You're facing the past, like when it comes to relationships or money or um, work, where you were overly loyal and it kind of led to disappointment. But now you can kind of look on the brighter side of things because you're definitely healing, with when it comes to friends and your hopes and dreams, because Chiron's in the 11th. So you're kind of um, recognizing maybe, somebody was kind of more of a lost soul. And, anyone playing victim mode, I guess, or stuck in victim consciousness, I wouldn't, waste too much of your time and energy on, because that might be, trapping you in some way, that might be keeping you stuck. It's always good to like help friends and everything. But I heard this thing, like if you see somebody as a victim, then you're victimizing them. And I really, really believe that, because everyone, has to realize their own power, that everything happens for a reason. And the faster that we just step into our power, the better, the faster we go towards the good things that are really, really meant for us. So realize, where you might have been a little too loyal, but you can release that now and not be so mentally caught up with that, any of those situations, because that could be, halting things when it comes to like who you're really supposed to be committed to, whether it is love, whether it is, a significant long-term relationship that can be coming in. But Four of Wands came out. So these are high level soul connections that definitely want to come into your life, that want to help you along your journey, that will give you a very solid foundation. If you don't have a solid foundation right now when it comes to home and family, this is going to lead you towards that, out in the world, connecting with people like in soul family, that can give you a big sense of stability. So this is a lot of this is, walking away. There is a big walking away energy with everything dissolving in the 10th house. It's kind of like what you were responsible for, what old structures even that were limiting, knowing what to walk away from that wasn't like super empowering, because a whole big new chapter wants to come in that is very empowering. And it all has to do with the beliefs that you have that are going to pump you up, and connecting with the right people, having your vision that you deeply soulfully desire, and getting over any fears that have been holding you back from going after that vision, so you can step into more of the limelight and more out into the world, because the 11th house is like the bigger world stage. It's kind of like getting a big social media boost and like becoming recognized and dealing with a bigger network in some way, and recognizing it, if you, yeah, just don't waste any more of your time or energy on what's been draining you, or wherever you've been too loyal. Forgiving yourself and others for mistakes, and realize that it's just made you stronger as a person. So you can really step in, walk away and go into the bright horizon of what's really meant for you, because that's taking you to a whole new chapter of the world, which is, luck, abundance, success, and like opportunities, and more solid, committed relationships, and just a lot of celebration, a lot more celebration, a lot more joy, a lot more freedom, a lot more just inspiration from people and high level soulmate connections. And yeah, that will lead you towards a lot of stability and abundance. All right. Thank you, Gemini. Hi Cancer, how you doing? Okay, so this Cazimi is happening in your 10th house, which has to do with your career, your reputation, your legacy, your long-term goals, and you could be having a light bulb moment going on with what you want to do with your career and what direction you want to go in, because there's an empowering new chapter that's starting in a very big way for you. So this is a very big like area, that you're really stepping into a big part of your life. And the 10th house can also have to do with relationships and who you're married to, and yeah, just what you're known for out in the world. And with the 8th house, it's like you might be going through like a deeper kind of evolution when it comes to just like learning more about yourself at that deep soul core level. And you can do a lot of like healing and release of past fears or judgments and just any of those negative emotions that might be, holding you back from really recognizing your power when it comes to merging with people and when it comes to finances and partnerships, business partnerships. And because yeah, you with Pluto in the eighth, you can be really wealthy, and it's all about releasing any fears where you've been limiting yourself in any way. Because you can make manifestation magic happen. And it's all about claiming your power, out into the world and really stepping into um that fire and that freedom and that celebration and the relationships that are really fulfilling to you. And, so you might be going through like kind of a phoenix moment when it comes to relationships, so you can kind of evolve and transform, you know, by facing the past and like what didn't serve you in the deep past when it comes to relationships, and what can you kind of release and free yourself from and heal, so you can kind of ignite the spark with who you want to be out in the world and how can you feel the most powerful. And releasing any ways of that were kind of like limiting when it comes to relationships, like codependency, obsession, possession, controlling. Like if you're feeling those like attachment issues when it comes to relationships, it's great to kind of go within to find more of that power within yourself, so you can have this phoenix moment and step more into your boldness and your authenticness out into the world. Because there's a new phase coming. Um, New phase, renewal, transformation, growth, and changing your mind on something. And um, you might be letting go of certain relationships that just kind of, are maybe they're looking at what you want for the big picture and kind of dumbing down your manifestations. There's something that's dumbing, like slowing down your manifestations. And I think you can really get to the core of whatever is kind of holding your manifestations back, and releasing anybody who's been envious, and maybe, you know, not having the best positive energy towards you. So you can find relationships that bring harmony, bring peace, bring balance. And how you do that is by being more of your authentic self out in the world and not holding yourself back anymore. And yeah, because then that attracts those right relationships to you, because people see you for who you really are. Why the hell am I stuttering so much today? I don't know. Sorry. People see you for who you really are. So you can, come out of the closet in some way. Like I think wherever you kind of maybe held back some of your deeper passions, and, the eighth house could be occult mysteries. Like it could be tarot, it could be astrology, it could be human design, it could be any of those, deeper interests and everything's where you were like holding yourself back. You can be a little bit clearer now and not so elusive, and like come out with more of your boldness. But yeah, it's all about finding those relationships that are very balancing, because that's going to lead you towards like soul fam and higher level soulmate connections. Um, More balancing relationships are coming coming out to help you achieve your goals. So have a little bit of patience too. I know with all this Aries energy happening in the 10th house, you can be totally lit up and ready to like get into that fight at work or something. But make sure, just hold back. Just like things will be revealed. Sunglasses came out. So somebody might be watching, looking, stalking, gaslighting, perception, focusing out, like, just really pull back because whatever is being illuminated right now is gonna show you where you can actually have more peace and where you can release some of whoever was envious or whoever was being maybe a little bit dishonest or deceptive. Um, so you can focus on creating more abundance, peace, harmony, your manifestations, and the right people that are supposed to come in to your life. Because yeah, good energy is lighting the way with patience. I always like this energy because it reminds me of divine union, because it's like when two people come together, then the magic like really, really happens. But have patience for the right people to reveal themselves. You will see them. And then it'll lead to more balance at work and the right people and peace and magic. All right. Thank you so much, Cancer. Hi, Leo. So this is a pretty exciting one for you. We're feeling that fire. God, uh, the fire signs are coming out of the dark ages, coming out of the cave, little by little, but we're almost there. Um, but this is kind of going to give you some insight when it comes to your beliefs. The ninth house is beliefs. Maybe you kind of break through some sort of limiting belief that you had, and our beliefs create our reality. So this is a very important area of life, and you want to make sure that you have very empowering beliefs and empowering spirituality or an empowering religion in this new era, because we're healing this area of life too, where maybe we were the weirdo ones or whatever when it comes to our what we really believe in, but now we can find our empowerment in this era and find the right relationships in the right group that we're really supposed to be with. And this could also be just like news with travel plans or something. Like maybe this is taking you to some sort of bigger vision, like maybe a project gets started, um, you know, something that comes your way that leads you towards like expanding your world in an even bigger way. So this is, really powerful. I like this. The sun, Venus is in the heart of you. So you're really recognizing what you value and what your beliefs are when it comes to love, money, relationships, and how you can be the most empowered version of yourself moving forward. And if you need to have, conversations and just realignment when it comes to your beliefs in certain relationships, that can be a very powerful thing, to talk about if you're in a relationship, like, where do you see the long-term vision and what are your beliefs in life and what do you want to achieve and what's that, how can we get aligned? And this can be a very powerful reboot with being very authentic about that and, having this deeper soulful evolution when it comes to our relationships. So yeah, it's kind of like realizing maybe where we were blocked off before, where we were, kind of keeping things to ourselves. Like maybe we can find this might highlight where we can be a little bit more out loud and proud about our like what we want, what when it comes to our vision and our goals and our higher inspirations. Because the Four of Wands came out reversed. So it's kind of like, a lot of Leo risings kind of went through a weird relationship thing with the eighth house. So like twin flame type relationships. And maybe, there are so many belief systems that keep us in boxes. And I think, the twin flame paradigm thing can definitely be one of those. Like, you don't necessarily have to end up with that person. And as a Sagittarius moon, I think it's always way more powerful. Like any Sagittarius that stays in one way of thinking, like is usually ends up being toxic and very limited and kind of blows themselves up on the inside usually, because Sagittarius is supposed to expand to different belief systems and broaden their worldview so they can take a little bit of everybody's belief systems and kind of empower themselves, through that journey. That is the most powerful way to have very strong beliefs. So maybe that's something that you want to consider too. Like if there's something about your, religion or spirituality that is keeping you very boxed in and limited, recognize how everything is making you feel. If it's making you feel more anxious and like you have to, you know, go by the rules and abide or whatever, maybe that's actually keeping you in a bubble. And maybe that's keeping you kind of stuck and guarded, where you need to be more open. With Neptune going here, we need to be more open with that unconditional love and acceptance of everything. But I think all of this is kind of, time came out. So we're waiting for the right time, waiting cycles moments, and we're getting um, back into our sunshine and back into our own inner happiness. And it is this deep evolution that we're going through, like going through our own shadows so we can really fully release them. And this is our shadows when it comes to merging in relationships and intimacy and the ways we attach in relationships and facing all of that stuff so we can truly find our happiness within first, so we can manifest it out in a very easy way when it comes to everything going into fire, and the more that you take a pause and do that internal work, you can go out so much faster and expand when it's time to go and expand. So make sure you're doing that, because the palm tree came out. It's like the palm tree is stable when it's flexible, and when it's like yeah, just a little bit more flexible. It has more permanence, it has more security, and it has more endurance. So realize where you can be a little bit more flexible with yourself, and when it comes to beliefs about relationships or beliefs about money, or beliefs when it comes to what you truly value, because big things want to come your way. Four of Wands came out, so that's like high level soulmate relationships and everything, but don't keep it stuck on one person. Like you have to open up your belief system so you can let the universe bring you what's really for you and what is actually your highest timeline. And if you're cutting yourself off and thinking that you believe more in what's better than God does, then you're going to cut yourself off from like real magic happening in your life. And I don't know why I'm so harsh on this Leo energy, because we're going through harsh energy right now and I'm going through it. So I say this all from love and everything, but really like open up your heart to the abundance and the magic that is truly within you so the universe can bring it externally, when the time is right. And we're stubborn. We're stubborn as all hell, but it's time to find that flexibility so we can open ourselves up to the maximum with everything in the eighth house and this deep healing. And yeah, there might be somebody stalking, gaslighting. Sunglasses came out. Watching, looking, stalking, gaslighting, perception, focusing out. Us being able to tune into that wider soulful view is going to heal us the most. Like we need to tune into the compassion and the empathy for ourselves and others, and for past relationships, so we can really free ourselves. Because yeah, oh, I love that. So yeah, it's like unlocking our heart in a big way, where we can be more radiant and more shiny from the inside out, because we're getting through all the barriers where we blocked ourselves off from our own abundance. And we're figuring out how we can amplify the happiness and the positive energies again, so we can achieve more of that abundance that we really truly want. And it all has to do with unblocking this heart in every blockage that we put there, and every limiting belief, and every sorrow and every yeah, just all of that. Time to get rid of it and try to just find that unconditional love and that passion and that radiance and knowing that like we're always going towards the good things, and we definitely are in this new chapter, but we have to have that unconditional love for ourselves first so we can see that in everybody else and be the leaders that we're really stepping into so we can uplift everybody else after we've gone through this harder time. And it's going to lead towards happy family, a happy foundation, maybe a soulmate connection that's very solid and very stable, not elusive at all. I like Saturn going into the ninth house is going to bring more solid relationships that have, a similar belief system, a similar optimism, just more freedom. We've gone through tough stuff with relationships, with it being in this the Saturn, Saturn's the ruler of the seventh house. So in the seventh house, there was a lot of blocks and limitations and just heaviness that you had to face. And then in the eighth house, it's like deep, like healing, like crises and, just change and evolution and just like, yeah. But with it in the ninth house, it's going to make relationships overall a lot lighter and finding people that are more on our Dharma timeline. So, and we can put ourselves on our Dharma timeline by following our passion, following our excitement, being more aligned with our meaning and purpose in life, and letting that in our flexibility and our endurance, like know that this is bringing us love in a big way. So Cupid's arrow, have faith, love is coming, surprise invitation or meeting or hesitation. I mean, I think this is going to be a really fun summer. So do the heavy work right now and have those realizations. So like the magic can really happen, and know that like, yeah, you've had to wait a long time and everything, but Cupid's arrow is coming in and you want to be ready for it. And it will lead towards the Four of Wands, which is, celebration, happiness, happy family, grounding, celebration. And all you have to focus on is opening up your heart for right now. All right. Thank you, Leo. Hi, Virgo. Okay, so for you, this Venus Cazimi is happening in the eighth house. So there's going to be some, awakenings and realizations in the deepest part of you. The eighth house, we deal with the heavier things when it comes to life. It's death, it's rebirth, it's our deepest fears, our deepest insecurities. And with this, we can majorly have a light bulb moment of clarity where we can free ourselves so we can, be more empowered and everything. So pay attention to just the realizations that might free you up and free up some of those heavier, dense emotions so you can be liberated. But this is also like recognizing where you're investing your time and your energy in, and where it's worth it and maybe where it's not worth it. Because some of these deeper realizations of where you're putting your time and energy, and is it being rewarded? Is it not being rewarded? You can be guided kind of more so on the right direction towards a lot of luck and abundance, because you're very psychic right now. High Priestess came out. This is a very psychic area of life. And you can be, psychic even when it comes to, your relationships, and just have more of that deeper awareness. When it comes to relationships, there's going to be a need for more transparency and more depth. And, if you've been irritated about taking on too much at home, taking on too much responsibility around the home, this is when you could have those more powerful conversations to really just dedicate, find more balance around the home when it comes to chores and versus, taking on all the responsibility around yourself. Because with the sextile to the sixth house, it's like recognizing where, like when it comes to your daily life and your routines and the work and the hustle and the grind, where things can be more balanced out. And this could be at work or this could be at home. And also, this is kind of like maybe a deeper realization, like where you could take care of yourself more, where you can have more like healthy routines and a healthy diet and, really um, be embodied in a healthier way. So yeah, there has been maybe indecision lately. It looks like indecision, but you're kind of being guided by your higher self in a bigger way. You could be receiving some major insights or downloads or some sort of inspiration that is going to lead towards more abundance. And this eclipse is hitting you hard. So that is like maybe you do kind of feel like you're in a whirlwind and kind of like all over, and everything kind of flew up in the air and you're just waiting for everything to, settle down. But during this time, like you can, talk and have those deeper conversations. You're very powerful with your voice. Fifth chakra came out. Interested, conversing more, awaiting messages, arriving, text call, email, hovering. So yeah, you could be receiving some sort of messages, so you can get clarity about what decisions you do have to make. And definitely wait until the retrogrades are fully done so you have that full clarity. But this is definitely going to give you some sort of insight with where your money is going, relationship issues. The eighth house is having those uncomfortable conversations about the deeper issues. So you can really get it out there in the open. Because acts came out, breakup, separation, stop the pattern, silent treatment, abandonment, wherever you might have some of those unhealthy patterns when it comes to relationships, you can put a stop to it now. And you just have to decide to change something, the way you approach it, so you can approach the situation with more love, so you can start a new cycle in the relationship. Or if it's a too toxic of a relationship, which it doesn't look like it. It just looks like something needs to be said so there can be more consistency and stability. This is a new chapter where Page of Pentacles came out. So things can be more solid when it comes to money, when it comes to resources. And it's like they just needed to know. They just needed to know, so they do have the guidance and the direction to kind of make things happen and make things be more grounded, because you have the eye, you have the insight, and you just need to vocalize like your concerns and everything so things can just be like more grounded. And this is going to lead to the wheel, which is a whole new cycle that is more liberating, is more aligned for you and the other person. And so don't hold back when it comes to those conversations. Know that the pathway is going to be made clear soon. It's just like the next eclipse has to happen, and then you're getting, a light bulb moment on this day, but everything will end up, more powerful when it comes to your relationships and your work moving forward. Yep, because you're starting a whole new cycle towards more luck, abundance, freedom, your aligned true path. And yeah, it looks good overall. All right. Thank you, Virgo. One more thing, Virgo, you are deepening the love. You are evolving in love in a big way. And you can, talk about getting married or moving in and all those like deeper conversations. Cause yeah, I mean, you're being pushed towards more magic and love overall. Yeah. Okay. So let's see. Let's do Libra now. So Libra, this is happening in your house of relationships and your fifth house. So it looks like a lot of fun overall. But yeah, there's a need. You're having some sort of light bulb moment and reset. And then Venus is also your ruler. So it has to do with you and who you are out in the world, and what you want and how you can be self-empowered in relationships. And you could be really getting the clarity that you need. This is a reset when it comes to relationships. So, or a renewal in current relationships. And you're going to know more of what you do want. And you have this deeper like calling when it comes to love with this, Pluto in the fifth house now. You want to evolve through love and passion, and you want depth, and you want intimacy or romance or whatever you truly want. You have to be honest about what you want. Maybe you do just want more play and fun and pleasure. But this is like really going to that deeper soulful core of yourself so you get clear on it first. You got to get clear on it first so you can like, communicate it to whoever you're with. And, but this could definitely bring past life soul connections into your life that are very, intense right off the bat and really strong. And, you know, this could be, and they could just end up as friends or, business relationships or, whatever. But this is so you can get very, I don't know. There's something you need to know about past life relationships for sure, but it's going to, all relationships do make us more powerful. But just be aware of, especially with Neptune going into the seventh house, you might have rose-colored glasses with relationships, but this is kind of, why can I say, I don't know. They might be intense, and that is good. But also don't fall into like the negative patterns with any of these relationships because you could be evolving out of like karma or old patterns and habits. You got to be very aware of like how you can be stronger in relationships now. Because the intensity can take a hold for sure. And you could be like, like you could be very easily obsessed and you could be clinging on. Um, clinging came out. Clinging, holding on, obsessing, spying, or somebody could be doing that to you. Um, but this is gonna, a lot of relationships are the best ways that we really grow and that there is nothing else, I think, that will like bring us more to ourselves than relationships and more of those deeper triggers, even so we can step more into our power in everything. And recognize like how like every relationship you can evolve, you can grow, you can, there is some sort of like vulnerability and intensity that might be needed here in fire. um so don't be surface right now. You kind of have to be deep. You do have to kind of go there. You do have to really know what you deeply truly want so you can be like, grab some of that rawness of what is truly you and like let that evolution happen and let kind of your heart open from that depth and intensity that can happen with love. So there is definitely going to be some healing and purifying and cleansing when it comes to love. And you might be reminiscing from the past. Camera came out, reminiscing, keepsake, perception. Um, but realize if you're holding on and clinging to the past, it's not letting in these new relationships that are coming in. And yeah, this is all about being empowered so you can like be balanced when it comes to like daily responsibilities and maybe there's some sort of financial constraints that you have to release yourself from, like any codependency issues like that. Um, and realize like ultimately you just need yourself and you need to be more grounded in yourself in this lifetime, and that's how you're going to be the most powerful in relationships. And instead of getting too sucked into relationships, instead of like holding on and clinging, you need to go within and find out how you like are what you need and that you are like you the more you can be really grounded in yourself and walk away from any heavier, dense emotions. Because maybe with Neptune going into the seventh house too, you can be really, really, really holding on to the past and deep, deep reflection and either how everything went right or how everything went wrong. When you look to the past and keep your energy in the past, that the past is gone and dead and gone. Like you need to look towards the future. You need to be excited for the future. You can't, tie yourself up in any way. Um, so you can like kind of have a light bulb moment with relationships of the past and everything, but realize that everything is perception. And if you learn from the past, but you stay optimistic towards the future, then you can have a very like wide, like expansive and optimistic perception, and you can really make a dream happen when it comes to your romantic relationships. You can shoot for the stars. You can manifest in a romance of a lifetime. But it really has to do with like you making healthy choices for yourself. Healthy choices came out. In love and life, having self-love, self-care, making yourself happier, prioritizing your happiness. That is the most important thing. Um, so like having those heartfelt conversations about what you really want in love and life instead of feeling like you always need to carry the burden by maybe shutting up and like keeping everything to yourself. You really have to have this awakening to see how you can really have that romantic relationship, but you do have to free yourself from whatever's happening in the past. And yeah, maybe if abrupt like communication is coming from your partner or whatever, really just give it a second because I think things can be balanced out overall. But the tower came out. So yeah, it's like shocking, awakening, some sort of like realizations. And I think this realization will unburden you in a great way, because the Ten of Wands is like beliefs and just some sort of heaviness that you actually never needed to carry that you kind of put on yourself. And you're going to be liberated from this. So have this awakening, love can be intensely good or intensely bad. And it's all up to you to really release yourself from anything that's, keeping you kind of stuck in the same loops or patterns in certain relationships. So you can be more like strong in yourself and what that ideal love that you know that you can manifest. Yep. So it might be a little intense or whatever. Like this first transition, I think, with everything going into Aries is bringing a little bit of intensity, but that is so you can have a new beginning of deeper love. The Ace of Cups came out. Depth, love, vulnerability, like just share your emotions. Don't like keep it surface level in or anything, because sharing your emotions and that's all it takes. Like don't try to intellectualize it, just share what you're feeling, and that will kind of liberate you. And it does look pretty simple, like where you might be logically going over things too much, like you really just need to share your heart. So yeah, you can create that home, family, and foundation and love life that you really want. All right. Thank you, Libra. Hi, Scorpio. How's it going? Okay. So this is happening in your sixth house. So you're having a light bulb moment when it comes to your home, uh, your home, your family, your daily routines. And yeah, there could be like a new way of, just like habits and one sec. Okay, so the sixth house is like your daily routines, your daily life, wherever you're putting in the work, putting in the grind, and you can have some sort of awakening that is freeing you up from, unnecessary work or unnecessary, I don't know, if there's conflict at work or I mean, not that there has to be conflict at work, but if there's any sort of like way that things can be done better at work, it's kind of like you can step into more of your power to be bold and make things, more efficient, make things more streamlined. And this is at work or either around the house. This is a great time to really have those discussions about like who handles what responsibilities around the house. And so you can have those deeper talks and lighten your load in some way. But there might be some sort of deeper transformation that needs to happen at the same time. Death and rebirth came out reverse. So, and this could be bringing up some deeper core wounds when it comes to home and family patterns from the past. And this could be relationship patterns or, yeah, just ways that you can like evolve for more freedom. And it brings freedom to yourself and to anyone that is in your home and family environment. yeah, a way that you can like lighten the load a bit because the Ten of Wands came out. So it's like you want to free yourself from something and you freeing yourself from something that you like took on too much of the burden with, and it could just because of a belief that you had. You can really set yourself free. And when you set yourself free, um, it leads to more of your manifestation abilities that really want to turn on. The magician came out, so that's like manifestation, that's like magic can happen. That's like you claiming more of your power in your everyday life to really lead from the heart more so. Because Scorpio, you do have a tendency to just pile on all the responsibilities and pile on like yeah, all the work and effort that needs to be done, but you can actually see how it can be shared. And when you share it, actually, it does bring more abundance and upliftment to yourself and everyone else. Um, but make sure you have those conversations. So I love yeah, Door to Romance came out. So this is like where you were maybe blocked off before and maybe where you hung on to things in general. It created too much of a burden and it actually weighed down your heart because the fourth chakra came out reversed. This is going to awaken your heart even more so. And it can lead you more towards love. The lovers came out. So if you're in a relationship, this can deepen the love that you have in your personal, life connections and everything. Um, but also this with Venus going back into the fifth house, like you're awakening to more love, like where you had your heart blocked off in general, with anything that you needed to heal, wherever you put up boundaries before, wherever you put up limitations or fears or doubts, you can really release yourself from that so you can lead more from the heart. Because somebody might be the runner. Runner in codependent relationship, fear of intimacy, listening to ego, where there can be more of a breakthrough, more of a heart opening and expanding, and whatever connection is very significant to you. So don't resist the rebirth, whatever internally might need to die, it might need to evolve. So you can really recognize like yeah how you're so worthy of deep love that brings a lot of evolution. So somebody missing you, craving you, desiring you, um anything. What is this magician in the lovers? I do want to see. Somebody's coming in really strong, and it is like a whole new chapter with relationships. Because Venus rules your seventh house. So it's all about recognizing who's really steady, who's consistent, who's putting in the work, and releasing. This seems more like work, releasing whatever collaborations just haven't been very like solid and like, grounding and building towards something. You can release those because that's not really leading anywhere. And maybe you're taking on their burden, but instead you kind of need to follow your heart and be a little bit more whimsical when it comes to your creations and manifesting in your life right now. That is going to lead you towards the most abundance. And whatever might seem like, maybe you feel like you're being the fool and jumping into something and taking a leap, but it's really you got to trust your heart and you got to let this new cycle happen. And because, yeah, there can be a lot of love and fulfillment that can be found here um, in a lot of whatever manifestations that you truly want. So recognize where your time and your energy is going towards in your everyday life. So you can be really powerful with manifesting your dream life that really wants to happen. And, take advantage of this big boosted creative energy that's happening for you in your fifth house. All right. Thank you, Scorpio. Hi, Sagittarius. Okay. So this Cazimi is happening in the fun area of life. So the fifth house, that's all about fun, sex, romance, pleasure, your creativity, your self-expression, and you're having a rebirth and renewal here. So you could have a lot of like, just downloads and insights when it comes to creative projects, maybe even, for your business or something. Ugh. For your business. But yeah, you're about to find more of the magic in life again. More of the joy, more of the inspiration. And yeah, you can have a powerful reset in love. So in your current relationships, this could be an opportunity to really get to any issues so you can have that yeah, reset and find more passion, find more fun, find more play, find more pleasure, and all of the good stuff. Because you can kind of make your ideal life, love life happen, and you can go through this evolution and deepening in love. But it's all about being really transparent and talking about what you truly deeply want, what you're really, really passionate about, and the ways that you can kind of like express yourself more authentically. You can release a lot of limiting beliefs when it comes to creating in general and how you create. Um, and yeah, this can be a chance to really like go after, what you really want in love. So yeah, there's like a way that maybe you were keeping things like hidden or undercover and you weren't speaking your truth. There's a lot of power with your voice right now. And you have to just say it how it is. You have to say what you want and what you really need. So if you're dating, it's always going to be more powerful to just be fully transparent with everything, um, to attract someone that's really, really meant for you. Um, but yeah, it looks like yeah, whoever's supposed to work with you, whether it is a creative project or just in love, don't hide anything. The Seven of Swords came out, so you don't want to hide anything. You want to be like just blunt and honest, and then you'll find your people. You'll find the people to collaborate with, and yeah, you're really tuning on your manifester, your magician energy, manifester energy, and you can receive just so many spiritual insights and mix the spiritual with the physical and literally make magic happen. But it's kind of like you might be going on the temple path a little bit. Maybe you do go kind of on some sort of fun adventure or something to see more of the magic in life and to, with Neptune going on there in there, it's kind of like fun and spirituality to really find the magic and where you're supposed to be. And yeah, let's see what else. Walking away, Queen of Wands, High Priestess, Empress. Yeah, I don't know. This is all about really a lot of creative energy. And maybe you're walking away from something that took a lot of your creative energy or a relationship that even took, your energy that isn't serving you anymore. It's looking towards the horizon now and seeing where your energy is best spent so you can really step into your power. So you're being pushed onto your Dharma timeline in a bigger way, with all this, everything going into the fifth house, like your past life talents and could be really majorly turning on. So if you have a random passion to go play the guitar or to go, develop this thing like that are just suddenly interested in, then go in that direction. That is the spiritual adventure that is calling you, that can lead you potentially to, towards more abundance. But yeah, everything about to trying you, it's like this fun, this passion, creativity. You can be on your Dharma timeline. You can have a little bit more fun and go on an adventure to really find what's really meant for you. Empress came out. So be in your Empress creative energy and step into your fire. And it's just time to really receive those creative downloads and everything. So you can find that bold self-expression and, not really hold back or anything. And let me see, let me clarify the Empress energy with the Seven of Swords. Some Sagittarius risings have been dealing with betrayal in general. We're just needing to find, yeah, wherever like things were out of balance before, wherever you were putting in your time and your efforts, that aren't worth it anymore, it is really time to just take a leap and jump into this new era and everything. And you will find the balance moving forward between the physical and the spiritual endeavors. But yeah, it's kind of like this timeline up here is like the higher timeline. And you see it, so you can't be too practical with what you can potentially manifest. Because when you pay more attention to your biggest dreams and what you're most excited about, especially as a Sagittarius rising, because you are super lucky. And if you aim high, you can really, really get there. Um, so it's important to realize that, you've gone through a deep healing period. You've released a lot, but like it's time to really pay attention to that big, higher 5D dream that you just kind of have in your dreams and your visualizations and everything, because you can really take a leap and, manifest a lot in that area. So know like your creative potential to really create your reality and the insights that you're, getting to create your and manifest your reality in a major way, because it can lead to a lot of abundance in this new chapter full of way more freedom. All right. Thank you, Sagittarius. Hi, Capricorn. So this is happening in your home, in your family, in your living situation, also your deep internal world. You can be majorly going through some sort of awakening, but there can be a powerful new beginning with finding more stability at home. Maybe you just want to kind of remodel or maybe, you need to have some conversations with those, close relationships to clear things up and have that heart opening. But also, this is a major chapter of you just having that inner awakening to go towards more abundance, because you can be very, just at home hermit mode and receive a lot of like brilliant ideas to, make more abundance. Like you can be powerful with making money right now. And it's really maybe up to you to get into your heart and your inner visions to be able to recognize like your ability to put your time and attention more towards what you want to manifest. So yeah, you can make the magic happen. So Three of Pentacles came out. It's all about finding, the people that are really like, helping you build and everything, your community, the people that have like similar beliefs and maybe even a vision with what you want to create can be really powerful. Um, Venus also rules your 10th house. Yep. Okay. Yeah. Your 10th house and your fifth house. So yeah, this could be big creative ideas that help you out in your career. Um, and yeah, so a new foundation wants to start full of like more of your happiness and more of your authenticity and more of like who you truly are. It's like you're creating a nice safety zone that you can kind of retreat back to so you can receive a lot of like downloads and inspiration. Um, one sec. I sneezed. But yeah, this deep healing that you're having too by having those more deep, vulnerable conversations is leading to a heart opening, a new beginning in love, a new beginning with like paying attention to how you really feel and how when you pay attention to how you feel, you can be more in alignment with manifesting your reality in a way more fulfilling way. So soulmates coming in. soulmates. And yeah, when you have such a lucky transit coming up in your seventh house pretty soon. So you have to get like really into your true core essence in the highest vibration of it. So you can attract in your soulmate, soul connection, partnerships, agreements, soul contract. But recognize what relationships are over too, you know. Relationship is over, no second chances, grow and transform your life. You know, whatever you learned from it only made you stronger. It only made you more rooted in yourself and more, yeah, just more rooted in your faith and belief in yourself because you're kind of going on a little bit of a temple path in general, spiritual adventure to find the magic. But this magic that you find internally can literally lead to just a lot more happiness, a lot more joy, and getting back into the inner child. Your inner child is getting, majorly activated right now. So the more that you can tune into that lightness and that fun and that creativity and receive those creative downloads, you can come up with so many ideas that can really take you the distance, that can be very powerful with making money and, make you way more aligned with how you show up out in the world. And then way more just rooted in yourself and, aligned with the right people too. All right. Thank you, Capricorn. Aquarius. So this is happening in your third house, which is your daily life, your daily life, whatever you really do in your daily life. So whether it's social media, whether it's communication, whether it's, community, working around the neighborhood, you're getting aligned you're having a new beginning, kind of awakening with what you really like to do in your everyday life and what is making you the most empowered. So you could be really cleaning out your schedule or making your schedule fit for you, or just your switching up your routines so they're more empowering. Because there's a nice sextile to your Pluto in the first house. So embracing the ways that you're evolving too, and really listening to yourself and to your body. Sometimes Aquarius risings have a tendency to ignore their body and just really, push way too hard. I think this can be a nice, like with the South Node in your eighth house, you're releasing a lot of fears right now and anxieties. And maybe that's like, just fears that kept you working really, really hard and pushing really, really hard. Because, ninth Venus rules your ninth house, which is your bigger visions and your dreams and your beliefs. And what beliefs do you have that are empowering? And how can you have more empowering beliefs in your everyday life? And, maybe it's dissolving some beliefs when it comes to home and family and seeing what beliefs helped you out so far and which ones maybe you need to release so you can be more in alignment with you in general. Because there is a big way you're wasting. There's like a heavy emotional burden that you haven't walked away from, and maybe that is like facing those deeper parts of yourself. But there's a new way to do things, a new way to cultivate abundance that takes less time and energy, and it's not all about like completely hustling. Sometimes it's way more important to get into alignment first, your own personal alignment, so you can make the abundance flow a lot easier. With everything in your second house in Pisces, it's definitely about your personal spiritual alignment to make the abundance flow. So this could be a major awakening, like a major mindset shift, a major, way that you communicate differently to yourself and to others. You could get a major download for just a creative project. Uh-oh, Bimmy's outside. One sec, I gotta get her. Bimmy, how'd you do that? She's like walking out there. Bimmy can't defend herself, so I had to save her. So yeah, this is like reworking your strategy. You're going to be figuring out how to work smarter, not harder, because your second chakra came out. Divine masculine energy came out. You're having a reset with your divine masculine energy, which is how you take action, how you pursue things, how you achieve things in life. And it's just going back to rewrite some of your beliefs. And, you can kind of go on an adventure to really figure out different ways to do things, like pursue some sort of knowledge and teaching and learning. But yeah, like Neptune going in here, you can receive a ton of just creative inspiration in general on a daily basis pretty soon. So recognize your ability to write and create, because that's what's majorly turning on right now. Second chakra, that's all about creation. And you can only be in alignment with your creations when you're in, true alignment with yourself. Because there's a way, like, you can face a little bit of your emotions and everything. Face your emotions and the deeper reasons why you might be pushing so hard and why you're doing the things the way you are currently. So you can recognize where your time and energy is going and where it's been valuable and where it hasn't been valuable. And walking away from any heavier emotions or even any people that have been keeping you stuck to like start like strategizing more for yourself. You want to let go of like the obligations a little bit now. You want to be a little bit more selfish when it comes to creating and, making your schedule in your everyday life. So it can be the most empowering for you. And that's literally the most important thing. So yeah, there might be it's so funny. Seduction, attraction, flirting, dating, hooking up, temptation. There could be like somebody very interesting in your everyday life that you're flirting with even, and maybe that's like a light bulb moment, like a office like romance and everything. But yeah, also like there's just a lot coming out just with this, because Mercury rules your eighth house too, and it's retrograde in your third house. Like how much of your everyday life, everyday thoughts, I mean, and your mentality go towards maybe exes or where you've been heartbroken in the past or where things haven't worked out. So you can release all these fears and anxieties in those deeper emotions that are trying to exit. So you can be more of a powerful creator because you are powerful creator mode. You got to get into your fun. You got to get into your passion. You got to step up more into yourself, like where you were scared to step up into yourself before. So you can be more, bold and unique and just authentic. So you can like have that power of your voice too. Have that power of your voice when it comes to creating the life that you want to create and having the right people in your life too. All right. Thank you, Aquarius. Actually, Aquarius, before I go, you do need intensity in life. You do need depth in life. You can't do the surface level relationships. You do want the deep relationships. Even if they're scary, you do want to, that, surface level just isn't going to cut it anymore. So you need to go after that deep fulfillment that's soulful, and that is those deeper relationships. That is like the finding the love of your life. That is finding not being scared, really not don't hold yourself back from finding deeper love. Empower, like really just open up your heart and don't let those fears like hold you back. Okay, so Pisces, this is happening in your second house and in your 12th house. So the second house is your money, your income, how you receive money. And this is usually like, everyday like salary kind of work, or this could be like income streams. It's what you work for though, it's not just like passive income. And there's a lot of, like ways that, and it's also your self-worth. Like, how do you value yourself? How can you be more empowered with valuing yourself possibly at a higher price? And that's, helpful for dating and life. And that's also helpful for when you're, getting a job and asking for, a raise and all of that too. And then Pluto in the 12th house is like, you're facing deeper subconscious thoughts, like the deeper subconscious thought process that you weren't like super aware of, but you can become more aware of with this to break out of any of those patterns and any of those limitations that you put on yourself that you didn't even know that you had on yourself. But also, I guess, like the second house, sometimes like we eat comfort food or we go to, certain comforts to like make us happy. This is also facing those so we can realize like our own self-empowerment to make ourselves happy, maybe in a different way that, makes us like more like bold and more confident and more like attractive and more of who we, really, really want to be. You could be facing a lot of like, yeah, just past fears that, about maybe self-worth or even like, money things where you maybe dealt with deceit that you can really heal so you can move on, into a more abundant future. Um, because yeah, it's like facing those deeper emotions that you didn't even know were there and letting them rise to the surface. And that's actually just where you were um, keeping yourself blocked off from the full abundance that really truly wants to enter your life. So it's time to like get out of any belief system that's keeping you in a bubble. So you can, you use that as wisdom and everything. You use that as, yeah, just more wisdom and another tool moving forward. So wherever you are conflicted, you're really getting to the bottom of that. Wherever you are hot or cold, you're really figuring out the subconscious process when it comes to love, money, and relationships and what you really value. So you can be really firm with that. The Magician in the Mirror came out. You are a manifestor. You are really magical right now with everything in Pisces, and you want to soulfully evolve by stepping into that highest version of yourself and letting more of the magic happen. But trust your ability to see, trust your ability to have a wide perspective on things because it seems like there's just a halt in progress of where, you were. This came out reverse the wheel, and it's like a lucky new beginning of luck and fate and destiny and your higher timeline to really ascend. Ascending came out. So you're ascending when it comes to relationships and transcending obstacles. And as soon as you learn the lessons, you can find the expansion and things won't have to be as bad as they were in the past because you're moving on to a new phase, preparing for a union. Oh, and twin flames came out. That's interesting. Twin flames, yin yang, zen, balance, union, duality, coupling, complementing each other. You can find, the more that you value yourself and raise your self-worth and like pump yourself up, the more you can, have a stronger union that really comes in for you. So definitely, use this as kind of a healing work and also like pumping yourself up. But yeah, it looks like somebody with like unconditional love, kisses, unconditional love, giving and receiving affection and following in love. Because people will only value you as much as you value yourself. So you have to prioritize your self-value and self-worth, and make that really, really, really high because then you'll get rich too, with Neptune going into the second house. But self-indulgence, focus on self-worth, time to heal, shadow work, self-appreciation. Didn't I just say that? Yeah, just a bit of shadow work, but you'll thank yourself for it later because I think there was like a negative mindset and maybe there's like a curse you can lift from yourself that's like from the deeper family lineage or something like that. I don't know how much I fully believe. Well, I don't know. There's just family karma and stuff we can really evolve out of. Um, and, really break free from where you just naturally go back to that negative mindset. So you can really, be that abundant magician creator that you're really stepping into right now. Magic wants to happen through you. It is your job. It is your duty. And it's up to you to clear out any negativity so you can receive those higher downloads from your higher self, because that's going to be higher inspirations downloaded for the collective. And that's how you can be the most empowering when it comes to your finances. Empowering yourself to empower others, to make magic happen in your life. All right. Thank you, Pisces.